Good evening, everyone. And today we are talking about the question of, can I service my car myself? By I mean you. And the answer to that is 100% yes. Yes, of course you can. There is a lot of people that think, well, it's done by an expert mechanic. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have a qualification. You've got to have special tools. You've got to have loads of time, loads of room. Yeah, maybe. I don't agree with it. I mean, if you look at my garage, it's tiny. Not very big at all. However, I get 90% of my repairs and servicing on all three of our cars done. The first place you want to start in terms of gaining the knowledge you need is a Haynes manual. So Haynes manuals are great. I picked up this for about £8 on eBay. You can pick them up second hand, maybe even cheaper for your car. I don't have one for the GSI Turbo because they don't make one for the GSI. I suspect that's because when they first came out, they were more of a top-end vehicle at that particular time, and those kind of people that bought the GSI had the amount of money to, sort of take it to a garage, take it to Vauxhall and have it serviced. So I don't know if that's a bit stereotypical and offensive. I don't know. The only thing I find with Haynes manuals is that they were written and brought out whilst the vehicle that they're covering was still relatively new. That's my opinion. They brought them out sort of 4, 5, 6 years after the vehicles come out, so there's not been long enough for, in my opinion, serious faults over time to develop with that particular car. So quite often I've had a problem with Emily's car. I've looked in here, it's given me a suggested solution or a few suggested solutions. I've checked through that, it's not been any of that. And then I've simply put the question into Google, and then I found on forums, different answers or different solutions to the problem that weren't covered in here, because this manual was written before the car had got to that certain age where certain developments started occurring and certain faults had started happening. So if that kind of understands, but they are great. I would highly recommend that you get one. The second one is obviously YouTube or car forums. There are a lot of good information on YouTube, and there's a lot of good information on car forums. There's Vauxhall forums, Nissan forums, all sorts. Lots of people want to share knowledge and help each other out. There is a lot of clowns out there. So you've got to, whatever knowledge, whatever answers or whatever knowledge someone shares with you, you've got to double check what you're being told. You've got to check it with a few people. If it comes to it where, say, you want to know how much oil goes in your car, go onto the Halfords website or a big company like that, then they're not going to get it wrong. Just always check your information that you're getting from other people. The other barrier that could be to, sort of servicing your own car is having enough tools. So you don't really need that, greater deal of tools. You end up buying them. If you're like me, you end up buying them because you want more and more and more, and you start doing more jobs on your car, and you want to do it quicker, and you want to do it more professionally. You want this fancy ratchet because it'll, get things off quicker, and you look cool while you're doing this and whatever. But a basic socket set and a few spanners, and you can get, sort of half your jobs done just with a few basic tools. So, for instance, one of the most important and easiest possible jobs you can do is an oil and filter change on your car. And obviously your motor oil is pretty important because your motor oil lubricates all the components in your car, and it stops them from sticking and stops wearing, increasing on them. And you've got your oil filter on this particular car. It's up here, but sometimes underneath the car. Your oil filter filters out all the crap that your oil picks up on. So oil carries all the crap away, and then your filter takes it all away from your engine to stop, little particles rubbing down your components and stuff. So changing your oil is as simple as, taking a plug out of your sump underneath your car, just a little plug on your little oil sump where all your oil's stored when your engine's off. You just unscrew that bolt, and then your oil will start dripping out. You need to put a container under it of some kind to let it all drip out, then put the little sump back in, and then on a lot of cars you get an oil filter which is in a canister, which is screwed on to the underside of the engine. And all you need to do is just unscrew that. You might need an oil filter wrench or something similar to try and get it off, but you just unscrew that, put a bit of oil in the seal on your new one, screw your new one back in. Or on this particular car, just get a socket on the end of there, crack it loose, and then with this lid comes the filter that's attached to it, and just pull it off, stick a new filter on that lid, and then screw that one back up. And then just refill your car with the right amount of oil. That's as simple as it is. So if your car takes 4 litres, put 3 in, and then just keep checking on the dipstick. Where is the dipstick on this car? Don't even know it. Here we go. So then just keep checking it on the dipstick until you got the right amount. Just keep topping up as necessary, and that's it. And that is your oil and filter changed. You know, that's one of the most important parts of servicing your car, and you can quite easily do it yourself for, you know, perhaps even less than 20 quid if you want to. Well, yeah, easily less than 20 quid if you're going to buy from somewhere car parts for less. You know, 5 litres of oil for 12 quid and an oil filter for easily under 8 quid. 20 quid, you've got your oil and filter change, and you've got a satisfaction in knowing you've done it yourself, you've achieved something yourself, and it's been done properly. You know, there's other bits like an air filter, which just filters out, you know, when your car sucks in air and breathes in air. You know, they're just the lungs of your car. It filters out all the crap that's breathed in. You know, that is just basically a piece of cardboard or paper. You just unscrew a box most of the time, pull it out, and put another one in. You know, that's as simple as it is. You know, when you come to your spark plugs, I've done a video on this car as well. It's just a case of taking your coil pack out, you know, unscrewing that, taking that off, and then you just get a spark plug wrench or a spark plug socket and just unscrewing your spark plugs, and then just screwing some new ones in. You know, there's no, you know, basic science, you know, behind actually doing it. You know, there's a lot of science behind how it works and how everything runs, but in terms of doing it, there's no reason why you can't do it yourself. You know, they're really easy. You know, changing your coolant, you know, putting some fresh coolant in. You know, we're all thinking, oh, I've got to take it to the garage and that. Actual fact, if you follow your lines down, there's just a little plug at the bottom of your engine, and all you need to do is just undo that plug, just let it all drain out, and then put some more in, and then just have your cap off while you start your car up and just rev your engine a bit to drain all the air out, and that's it, and you've got fresh coolant. You know, all that. You know, you could easily do all that for sort of under £70, and you know, you've just done a basic service in your car. You know, obviously the only downside is you're not a fully trained mechanic, so you've got to convince whoever buys your car after you that you've done that job correctly. You know, and everything's been done properly, and you know, you've got to prove you've done it as well. So you want to keep all your receipt for your parts. But if you're like me, you plan on keeping your car for a while, and you're not too bothered, and you know, I take photos of everything I do as well. Or better still, I'll put a video on YouTube, so there's video proof that I've actually done it. So when someone comes to buy my car, I'll just say, look, here's a video of me actually doing it. This is where I got the information from, you know, professional information. So yeah, so to answer your question, then yeah, I do believe you can service your car, and you know, you can do minor repairs with some basic tools as well, and you know, researching it. You just got to have the willpower and the determination, you know, just to take a risk. Just research. Take your time, try and get somewhere warm, and try and do it on a day when you know, you're not going to get distracted, you're not going to get pulled away and you need to rush doing it. So if you do have any questions about all the minor repairs or servicing that I do on my cars, or you know, if you've got a particular car and you need to do anything on that, then you know, don't hesitate to ask me, and if I don't have the answer, I'll definitely point you in the right direction, or I'll even find the answer for you. So I hope this video helped you, and if you need to save some money or you want some satisfaction doing some work on your car, you know, get servicing it. Thank you for watching.